Rockstars, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here, and today we're talking about easy soloing over chord changes. Now here's how it's going to work. This is part one, and today we're doing major chords. On Monday, we'll be doing part two, which is the minor chords, and sandwiched in between there are two great jam tracks that I'm creating for you that will be dropped on Monday, or on Saturday, which is your major one, and on Sunday, which is your minor one. Check out those jam tracks that we're dropping every weekend here. Now here's the deal. You've heard guitar teachers talk about this a lot, about being aware of what chords being played, because those are the notes that are going to sound best if you rest on those. Sure, you can play with the other notes. That's what music's all about. It's about tension and release. But if you don't know where those release notes are, where those notes are that you can rest on, then you're going to have a harder time doing this. Now, a little history about how I came about doing this is I really started hearing this more as I was listening to other guitar players and other teachers over the years. When I first started playing, I didn't do this at all, or at least I wasn't aware of the chord shapes as I was playing, as I was soloing. I wasn't thinking that. I was just playing my pentatonic, major, minor, blues riffs and that sort of thing, and I was doing what my ear told me what was right. And friends, that is the same thing that I'm going to be showing you here, except if you feel that that your ear's not telling you this, then you'll be able to visually see this. So there's many ways that you can do it. You can visually see the chord there, and you can work around the scale, land on those notes, and then your ear's going to confirm, hey, that sounded good, champ. Keep doing that, okay? And that's what I'm going to show you right now. So now, the reason I'm calling this easy soloing over chord changes is the jam tracks that we're dropping this weekend hold the chord out. Number one, it's only two chords. So for this one, it's going to be G major, C major. Okay, that's the one that's dropping on Saturday. The one that's dropping on Sunday will be G minor, C minor. And essentially what I'm doing there is I'm just creating a nice pad for you to play over that one chord, 4 measures, and then the chord changes for 4 measures. Because what happens is, inevitably, when folks get involved in this sort of thing, is they start doing it, they start playing, and the chords are moving by too quickly, okay? So very important that you understand that information before we proceed and before you check out those jam tracks this weekend, okay? So now, the first chord in this is going to be a G. The second chord is going to be a C. Now, as we know from the cage system, that we can play the same chord many different ways all over the neck, right? And so, because of that, this G chord, I'm going to be playing right here. That is a G chord because it has the ingredients that make a G chord. And we're using a C formation, right? From our C chord, we're sliding it up to the G. So this right here is right on your diagram. You're going to see that there. It's the notes that are closest to the top. And the darker notes represent the actual chord. Those are our resting notes. Now on the lower part of that diagram, you're going to see this form, which is our G form, but again, it's a C chord. Here's a C chord, here's a C chord. You can hear that. But I'm using the G formation from our cage system. You don't have to know that, just understand that that's what we're doing, okay? And you can see that form right in there. Now, the important part of this is when we're playing that C chord, or that G chord, I should say, we've got these notes right there that are within the chord. Those are our resting notes. So when you're listening to this track tomorrow, what I want you to do is I want you to do something like this. Okay? Or play some portion of that chord. Basically what I'm wanting you to do is play a G chord and then a C chord. You could play the E formation of that as well, or you could play these ones down here. The point that I'm showing you here for this lesson is you've got the chord and then you have the little noodle notes to work around it. So let me tell you exactly how I do that, okay? So if it were me here and I'm just playing a let's say the G chord here, and I'm doing like now I got this little jam here happening, so now Now I'm trying to break this down even further for you. You can do this with a looper pedal, or you can do this with a jam track that's just a vamp where you're just playing one chord just over and over and over again. That's the even easier version of this, okay? There are one chord vamps here on YouTube that you can find. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you're using your jam track, then just play that G chord. Take that shape that I'm showing you here. That's right there in that diagram. And those are the notes that you're going to rest on. So if you notice, like for this lick, I went past these notes very quickly and then rested on that note. That's a very common theme for guitar players, where you're playing a couple notes, or at least one note, out of the chord, and then the other notes are color notes that add some tension to what it is that you're trying to do. So one of the exercises that I want you to do on these chords is take at least one of the chord notes and at least one of the scalar notes that are not in the chord, and I want you to use those and land on a chord note, like, because listen, let your ear tell you if this is right or not, right? As opposed to me doing something like this. There's nothing wrong with that, but see, what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to rest on that chord tone, and it's just automatically going to sound more cohesive, more like you know exactly what it is that you're talking about, okay? So what I want you to do, you learn that form, play that scale that I have right there for you. Okay, those other notes will work really well with this. In fact, they'll work well with both of these chords. But you want to really emphasize the notes around that chord. Now, when the chord changes to the C chord, I'm using this formation right here. Right? Now, nobody in their right mind is going to try to play a G form bar chord. I call it G form bar chord because I'm grabbing it from here, G form, but I'm moving it up to the C, right? So again, these notes are the notes that you're going to want to emphasize. So if I'm playing a lick, and so in this case here, we've got a C chord, so let's put a little jam in here. So now I have that C chord in there, and now I'm going to play the notes, just the tones, the chordal tones, okay? And you're going to hear how that wants to rest, like those notes are just resting, okay? But then I can bring in some of the notes out of the scale to create that tension. So check this out. Okay, now, if I want to, again, that's boring. We don't want to just do that. Now, right now, I'm just arpeggiating. But if I do something like, that's straight out of the chord. Chord tones. Okay, so again, we've got the chord tones. You want to really focus on those things. And then when you feel comfortable, grab another note out that's not in that chord, but that is within our scale diagram there. And just, that's what's creating the tension, okay? It's creating a little bit of tension and then resolve it back to one of those other notes. This is how you learn this stuff, my friends. And then when you see your favorite rock guitar player, jazz guitar player, or whatever, playing directly over these jams or playing right over like very fast chord changes, trust me when I say that did not happen overnight, and there's no way that you're going to get to that level without doing this slow stuff first. Everybody starts with the slow stuff and then to the medium stuff and then to the fast stuff, okay? Now, I got you covered. Check it out. Tomorrow we're going to be dropping this jam track. It's going to be in a major key. Use this diagram because I specifically have paired these two together for you. The one that's going to drop on Sunday is going to pair with the lesson that I have for you on Monday. Okay, that's how it's going to work. Now, if you like these jam tracks, if you've been listening to these jam tracks, you know where to go. There's a link below, projamtracks.com. Site is in development right now, but you can go ahead and put your information in there if you would like to be privy to when we release this. It's going to be bonkers. You need to check it out. Also, if you need some basic information about guitar, I have a course for you, friends, absolutely free. It's called the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. The very first link below will give you access to that. Or you can go to YourGuitarSage.com/30. That'll get you in there. We've had over 500,000 people go through this, massively changing how they play guitar, how they think about guitar, and the testimonials keep coming in. Now, if you're on mobile right now and you can't do that, text me. I'm not joking. Text me. 833-744-0154. Text me, FREE. And I will set you up with that course. Okay? Friends, that's it for today. Check out the jam track tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. As always, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing always. Practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video.